All right, the next question is from Noah. Noah says, I'm in my early 20s with low expenses, no debt, a new Roth IRA, and planning to open a high-yield savings account. Well, congratulations to you, Noah. That is absolutely fantastic. Should I follow the 1-3-6 method and build my emergency fund before investing, or can I do both at the same time? And should my emergency fund target my current low expenses or what they will be once I move out? So this is a really good question. Now for Noah, what I would say is your emergency fund really just needs to be kind of what your expenses currently are. So if you have minimal expenses currently and you want to just start slowly building up that emergency fund for when you have more expenses or when you move out, that is going to be the starting point. And so the way I would think about this is figure out, okay, well, what is 1 month, 3 month, and 6 months of expenses of what I currently do? So let's say, for example, you spend $1,000 per month. Well, if you spend $1,000 per month, having a 6-month emergency fund right now would be a fully funded emergency fund. Now, if you know at some point in time that you're going to move out of that house or you're going to move out and you're going to get your own place, figure out what rent costs in some of those areas and try to calculate exactly what it would be. And then very slowly start to send money over to your emergency fund. You can do this a couple $100 per month if you have that delta available. Then the rest of the money, I want you to get those dollars invested. You're young and these dollars are so incredibly powerful. And when your expenses are low, this is the time to take advantage of this. This is the time to get as much as you possibly can shoved into these accounts so that you can watch that money grow. Because when you are younger, you have the greatest opportunity of all that most of us don't have anymore. You have the opportunity of time, and time is your most valuable asset. And so when you have time available, getting dollars invested when you're living under your parents' roof or when you're in a situation where you have low overhead is gonna be life-changing for you. So I would try to at least get some cash on hand in an emergency fund. But outside of that, then you can slowly build it up over time when it's time to move out. Then once you get closer and closer to the date where you think you could be moving out or moving into a situation where you are going to be living on your own and you have higher expenses, that's when you start to accelerate the amount that you're sending to your emergency fund. But getting your dollars invested right now is one of the most powerful things that you could do. And I really commend you for even thinking through this because it's really, really important to make sure you have that there. So my systematic take would be, hey, what's 6 months expenses right now? Make sure it's at least, a few $1,000s that you have in that high yield savings account. Then from there, go ahead and start investing. Start investing in the order that you need to be investing in. And then once you have those dollars moving and those dollars invested, just take a small percentage of the amount that you're investing and keep funding that emergency fund. Just send automatic contributions to your high yield savings account every single time you get paid. And that's going to help that fund build up so that by the time you get to the point where you are having higher living expenses, then you'll have a head start on your emergency fund, and then you can build up the rest once you see what those expenses are. A lot of times it's hard to predict exactly what they're going to be, and so just building up slowly while you have low overhead is going to be very, very helpful. So congrats to you for getting started. Congrats to you for getting started so early. You are taking the most valuable step that most people don't have the opportunity or know how to take, and so that is absolutely fantastic. The last one, and this is a great one. This actually came from our Spotify comments. So feel free to leave a comment in Spotify. We may get your question answered there as well. But this is one where someone sent this in. So getting married in a year and wanted to ask, how soon after the wedding should things start getting combined for fully combined financials? Should we combine it little by little or do it all in one afternoon? So this is a great question. If you are planning on combining your finances, if that's overall what you guys have had a conversation about and you've decided, okay, we're going to combine our finances, the goal is going to be not to drag this out very long. So if you drag it out over the course of the next couple of months after you get married, it's just going to create confusion and it's going to make it even more difficult to start to combine everything. And so for the most part, what I would recommend, and this is what my wife and I did, is right before we got married, we opened up a joint checking account. So we went over to Chase, we opened up a joint checking account. It was about a month before we got married and had that opened together. Once we had that account open, and you can change the names later on down the line if you need to for last names and things like that. But once we had that account open, then it was very easy. Let's say, for example, you get married and you have wedding guests that come and you get money for your wedding. Well, now you have an account where you can put those dollars into that account and you don't have to worry about, whose account does this go into. And so that's the starting point that helps you get started. Then I would also open a savings account, a joint savings account that you both have, whether it's a high yield savings account somewhere. That is one of the best things that you can do together, so that you have a place to put your emergency funds and you have a place to put your down payment fund or whatever else you want to buy going forward. All of that can go into that high yield savings account. But in addition, this is going to help you automate your finances. couples who do not have at least one combined account have a very hard time automating your finances. These are the couples that are Venmoing each other back and forth and doing these ridiculously complicated things that they do not need to be doing. At the very least, most couples need to have a combined joint checking account that they pay bills out of so you can automate your finances. That way, you can send money to your bills automatically. You can send money from your accounts automatically to investments and all these other areas. So I would recommend just doing it pretty quickly. It does not take long whatsoever. You can absolutely do it in the one afternoon approach that you mentioned, where it'll be done pretty quickly and you don't even have to think about it anymore. And so I would start with that joint checking account, getting that high yield savings account, starting to transfer and get your direct deposits sent over there is going to be very important. Changing the beneficiary names on your investment accounts to, if you want to change it to each other, that's the way you have that set up. And any insurance you can change over as well. And then if you have individual accounts, you can keep those open temporarily. You can keep them open as something that you utilize going forward. And then eventually you're going to realize that, once your money is combined, you don't really need to have those additional accounts unless you really want to. Maybe there's specific reasons that you have, but for the most part, you don't really need those anymore. But it's the conversation that matters most. Sitting down, having the conversation, and just getting after this is one of the most important things. So congrats to you for starting that conversation and already thinking about this before you get married. Way too many people I know will get 2-3 years down the line after they get married, and then they try to combine finances. And it gets a little bit more difficult. It's just a little bit more muddy when you try to do it that way. So if you are going to combine your money, I would highly recommend doing it, right before you get married, having that account open, ready to go, so that when money comes in, maybe from the wedding, or maybe you get money, from some other things, then you can just have the money already in that joint account and you can start your system right away on the right foot day one. So that is the best way to do it, in my opinion. Listen, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. What a fantastic episode. I'm so excited for each and every single one of you to get started investing and getting to your first 10K, because I know each and every single one of you can absolutely do this, and it is a life-changing thing for most people to get started. Man, I had fun creating this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this episode. Fantastic questions, as always. I truly appreciate each and every single one of you. And again, I would love to meet each and every single one of you inside Master Money Academy. We have a link down below where you get a free 7-day trial to join Master Money Academy. I would love to see every single one of you join in there.